Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to the Form 5 final exam practice, and this will be your part 1. In this video I hope to include indices, change of subjects, error estimation, and also factorization. Now these are very important topics until your DSE as well. These 4 questions, it comes almost every year, so make sure you are 100% clear how to do each of them. Now indices first, which means this is the style. How do I do this? So basically our first most special step is to make sure all the powers are positive. So if there is any negative power, then you do that. So first step, or before that, we have brackets. Of course, sometimes there are brackets, here is not. And the second step, make sure the negatives are turned into positive. Now what do they mean actually, right? And then later on we do simplify. So while I do the question, I'll explain it. So since this is your question, is there any bracket? No, so that part is done. And then how about this, negative to positive? What does that mean? That means, see, if there's any power that has a negative. For example, this B is having a negative 15 here power. So if I want to make it as a positive, I will move it to the other stage, from denominator to numerator. So that is my first step. A16, B15, and then A19. Alright. And the next thing that we have to see, because everything is positive now. So last step is to simplify. Simplify means, see, is there any unknowns on the same stage? If the unknowns are on the same stage, that means this is A here and B here. If there's more of the A's, then I will deal with them together. And if the unknowns are on different stage, then we will have to see which one has the higher power. 16 is higher or 19? Which one is higher? The bottom one. So I will keep the A at the bottom, and then the higher power minus the smaller power, and then B has no change. Okay, that's good. So you're left with B15, A3, and that is your final answer. Super easy, right? Just 19 minus 16, 3. That's it for indices. Indices, you do the brackets first. If there's anything outside the bracket, you go in and then times with the power. That is done. Then you do the positive to negative, or negative to positive, sorry. Negative, deal with the negatives, and then simplify in the end. Very good. How about change of subject? That's the second part. For change of the subject, you will be always given one of the unknown, and then you have to make that as the subject. Subject means put that unknown alone on one side and all the other things on the other side. Okay, but I have X on both sides at the moment. What do I do then? Right? What can we do? So what we will do, your first step will be to see if there are any brackets. If no, then we see if there's any fractions, and we deal with the fractions, and then we will do the cross multiply, and then we will again open up the brackets if there are, because we will make brackets with the cross multiply. And then we open up all the brackets. Next, we will have to multiply, or put put the subject on one side. Now this bracket here means this is a bigger bracket, right? So, and then I have an X inside. This means this is the unknown that I have to make it as a subject. So this whole thing, make this X as the subject and put everything related to X on one side. And then what we do is factorize. That means take out something that is common. Take out anything that's common. While I'll do the question, I will explain, of course. And then lastly, we make it as make the subject. Easy peasy, right? It shouldn't be too hard. So let's see what we have. Is there any brackets here? No, so nothing to do. Fractions. Oh yes, there is fraction, miss. So we have a fraction line here, fraction line here. So what we do is put this thing here is divided. So if I want to move it to the other side, it will be multiplied. Same goes for this one. This is divided here. If I want to move it to the other side, it will be multiply. So my next step will be 3 bracket x minus 5 equals to b bracket x plus b. Get it? The things on the down goes to the other side upside. This one as well. Just that's what we call cross multiply and making brackets. The bottom, because it's more than one thing, so you will put a bracket. And then open up the brackets. How do I do that? So this 3 is given to both of them here and also here. This b is also given to both of them. So you do that step. 3 times x, 3x, 3 times negative 5, negative 15. B times x, you have bx, b times b, you have b squared. So you have already done the opening up the brackets. And next, the subject that you have to find, put it on one side. So wherever there's x, we have x here, we have x here. We have to put it on one side. So let's put it on the right side because the right side is already a positive one. And all the other things on the other side. So if this negative 15 here going to the other side, it will be positive 15. So you have already done putting x on one side. Next, taking out anything common on the x side. So here, because this is what you want, you need to make x as the subject, not too many things. So is there anything common here? They both have x, right? So you take that out, whatever is left, just put it there. In other things, no change. And then last step, make that as the subject. Now this bracket means multiply. If you don't want this multiply here, you can move it to the other side and it will be divided. Easy, right? So this was multiplied, going to the other side, divided, and that is your final answer. X is already a subject here. It's on one side. If it's on one side, alone, single, then it's what we call subject. Good. That's nice. So let's move on to the error and estimation. Now error and estimation comes almost every year, and each year is almost different style. So because last year 2023 exam, it came the long English version. If there's a lot of words, then I will call that English version, and if it's just numbers or something like that, that is the maths version. And so expected is like 2024 you will have something like this. That's why I'm doing a little more practice. So you need to know the round up, round off, round down, significant figures, integers, and also the decimal places. All 6 things is very different. Everything is different here. So first question, round up this thing to 1 significant figures. Now significant figures is, the only difference is that you do not count the initial zeros. Do not count initial zero. For example, if the question is 0.0123, these 3's are not counted at all. So if I need 1 significant figure, it will be this value. But if there's no zeros in front, then we will count that. So this is the only significant figures that I want. Okay, this 6 is my significant figure. I need to do something with this. What do I do with this? I will round up. Round up is no matter what's at the back, you still add up the value. So I will have to add up the value. So my A will be 700. Everything at the back doesn't matter anymore because only the first digit is my significance. So I only give significance to this. All the others, just make it as 0. And I have to round up, so you will have to add value to it. Good? Nice. And after decimals, no need to include unless there's things before the decimals. Cool. And then next, round off this number again to the nearest integer. What does integer means? Integer means no decimals, no point form, no decimal places. So that means I only need until the point form. I don't need anything after the form, after the point. So I just need this 6 to 7. But what do I do with this 6 to 7? From the back side, you choose numbers, and then from the first, from the in front, you will choose the condition. I have to round it off. Round it up. What does that mean? You will have to see if the next number is above 5 or not. So here, 5 or above. Yes, it is a 5 here. So what do? I will have to round off. That means give the value to the previous number. So if it's 627, it will become 628. Okay. And then the last part, decimal places. Decimal places means the points. And how many do I need? I just need one decimal place. So I choose my numbers first, 627.5. So I just need this. And what do I do with these numbers? I have to round down. Round down means no change at all. Round down means no change at all. So whatever number that you chose, just put it that. So 627.5. If it was a round off, I will have to see the next number and then give the value to it. But since it's a round down, so no change at all. Good. So pause the video, try next question on your own, and then see if you really understood it. It's the same, of course. So one significant figure, so you just need the first number. And what do I do with that? It's one round up. So no matter what it is, I have to add the value to it. So it will be 800. And then now nearest integer. Nearest integers means you don't need the decimals. So these are my numbers. What do I do with these numbers? I have to round it off. So I will have to see the next number and see if I have to add value or not. Since it's 5 or above, so I have to add the value. It becomes 727. And then last one decimal places. So what are my numbers? Until the first decimal place. And what do I do with it? I have to round down. Round down means no change. And if there's no change, then your answer will be 726.5. That's it. Alright, next, the last question of this video, factorization. Factorization means in the end you need brackets. Yes, in the end you need brackets. So how do I do for this one then? Well, for this one, it should not be too hard because there's just a square here. And when you see a square, what do you think of? When you see a square, you think of quadratic equation, or in calculator, we call it formula 01. How do I do that? How do we do that? How about if you don't have the calculator? If you have the calculator, it's very easy. You just click formula 01. There's on the top left corner formulas, and then click 01. It's in the orange button. So you go 36, negative 12, and then 1. 36 exe, negative 12 exe, and then 1 exe. So you will have the answer as 1/6, and the other answer is also 1/6. Oh, that's nice. So, and then how do I turn this 1/6 into brackets? So these are the values of x. So x equals to 1/6. But if you want to make it into brackets, put everything on one side. So this 6 is divided here. When it comes here, it becomes times. So 6x plus equals to 1. And then this positive 1 comes here, it will become minus. So that's it. If it's equals to 0, this is your bracket. But we will have to see what is the unknowns given in the question. It's a and then nothing on the other side. So just change the first unknowns to a. So your part a will be 6a minus 1. And remember, you got the two same answers, right? Well, both of them is 1/6, 1/6. And if they both are same, you do put a square on the top. Now, how about for students who don't have calculators? How do they do it? So your first part is to see how can you make 36a. How does 36 makes 6 times 6? So 6a times 6a, because a times a is a square. And then how do you make 1? You can make 1 as positive 1s, negative 1s, because negative times negative is positive, so negative 1 times negative 1 will be positive 1. Now let me try for this one first. After choosing these numbers, because 1 times 1 is also 1, then we do the cross multiply. 6a times 1, 6a, 6a times 1, 6a. You get positive 12a. This number is not matching the inside one. The inside is negative 12. So this is not my correct answer. So let me try another one. 6a, 6a, and then let me try negative 1 this time. So 6a times negative 1, negative 6a. 6a times negative 1, you have negative 6a again. In total, there's negative 12a. If that is the case, does that match? Yes. So that means this is correct, and I just need to put a bracket here. So these are my two answers, 6a minus a and 6a minus 1, 6a minus 1. And because they are repeated, so I put a square on top. How about part B? Part B. Your first part is same. Oops. And then how about at the back? It looks a little similar, right? But not exactly the same. What are difference? The positives and negatives. So what we do is take out the negative from them. So everything will be changed. And then now what is so special? This is exactly the same. So we can replace the answers that you got from part A in here directly. So you will have 2a plus b square minus 6a minus 1 square. How do I do next then? Do I give the square to both of them? No, please don't do that mistake. Okay, a square means a times a. So if it's 2a plus b square, it will means 2a plus b times 2a plus b. And then open up. That's gonna take a lot of time, right? And we don't have that much time actually. I mean, we do if you are not doing all the questions, but there should be some quicker method. So do you see anything special in this? Square here, and in between there is a minus, so t minus. Oops, it's such an ugly drawing, but who cares? So we will have to think of a square minus b square identity, which is a plus b, a minus b. Good. So I will have to do the same thing. This whole thing is my a and this whole thing is my b. The whole first thing minus the whole second thing. So it will be the first thing plus the second thing, bracket. First thing minus the second thing, again bracket. So my first thing is, so let's try doing it. So a plus b first, let's have a bracket. So my a is 2a plus b plus my second part, which is 6a minus 1, close bracket, and then another bracket, first part minus the second part. And then next thing that we will have to do is open up all the brackets inside. So you will have 2a plus b plus 6a minus 1 here. Here you have 2a plus b. This negatives goes to both of them. So negative 6a plus 1, negative is positive. And then see if there's any unknowns that have same values. You have to add them up. 2 plus 6. So 8a plus b minus 1. Here 2 minus 6. So you have b first because it's positive. Negative 4a plus 1. So that is your answer. Hopefully you got it correct. And one way to check the answer, click this whole thing in calculator by a as something, some numbers. Let's say a is 0.1. See what do you get. Find the value of it. And then also do this one. A again, replace it by 0.1 and then find the value. Do the same for b. A as 0.1, b as maybe 0.2. Find the value and then replace a as 0.1, b as 0.2, b as 0.2, a as 0.1, and then match the values. If they are correct, then you are getting correct answer. And that's it for this video. Hope you like it. And this should be around 10 to 13 marks. Okay, 6 plus 3, 9 plus 4. Yes, 13 marks of your exam. This just one video. I mean in DSC. So DSC, you only need 4 questions to get 30 marks already. First 3 questions are 3 marks. And then the 4th question, starting from 4th question, because these are just practice, so that's why it was repeated. Starting from 4th question, it is already 4 marks usually. Some years it's still 3 marks, so let's see how lucky you guys are. So until then, see you, ta-ta, bye-bye. Hope you guys like it. And this is very important. Make sure you get fully correct in these 4 questions. So If you have any questions, just ask in the comment section down below, or even you can email me, or even ask on IG, or if you have my personal WhatsApp number or the work phone number, so you can also contact me through that. Basically, whatever method you can, just contact me if you have any questions. So till next video, tada, bye bye, Allah Hafiz.